Ooh, I got one going on my neck,
Okay.
in my hair.
Oh, a second, I'll help you. Okay, step back away, sis.
Yep.
Greetings, friends! What new thing have you added to your life this year? If you're a homesteader or gardener, what new thing are you raising or growing this year? Let us know in the comment section below. Well, last year we added bees to the homestead for the first time with anticipation of having our own honey this year, because you usually don't get honey in the first year that you bring a hive onto your property. So this year we were hoping to get our own honey, our very first honey. But you know what? A couple months ago, we noticed that we weren't having any bees in our hive.
And it was warm days when they should be out and we weren't seeing them.
I was like, oh, it's not looking good for honey this year. And then I was just happened to be working outside, actually just right over here. And then out of nowhere, this tornado of bees just came and just started twirling around. And then they twirled right where our old bees were in our hive over there, and they just decided to make a home there. So I was like, wow, our miracle swarm, we have bees again. And they're still over there hanging out and doing all this bee stuff that they do, pollinating the different flowers and things that we have popping out. So we're super excited about that. But recently, you got a call about another swarm of bees.
I did.
And I wasn't able to come help out with getting this swarm because I had so many things going on and I just could not leave the homestead. So you took care of it.
Yeah, I did. And Sayla went with me. Are you ready to try and get some bees?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, so hold on. So where was this swarm of bees at? Where were they at? Hold on with the story.
Well, they were at my mom and dad's house. My sister-in-law works for my dad, and their office is at the house. And she came out and she heard a swarm of bees and looked up and was like, wow, there's a swarm of bees. So it was just like happenstance. Yeah.
Alrighty, so once you got there and you arrived there, what did y'all do?
Well, I first wanted to see where they were at just so I could get an idea of what I needed to do. So I went to the backyard and I look up and I'm like, oh, there they are. That's like over 20 feet in the air. That's pretty high up there. I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna get these bees.
So you just test out your leaping ability to see if you can just reach up there and get them?
Yeah, I don't have.
Checking your vertical out?
Yeah, I don't have a 20-foot vertical. Sorry.
So no? All right, so what did you do?
I went and got the old hive that was in the van that I brought with me and took it out there. Because Hazen, my brother, said sometimes if you take a hive and just set it close to them and put lemongrass essential oil in it, then they're attracted to that scent and sometimes they'll just go right in the hive. So now I was like,
I didn't know that.
I was hoping that was what was going to happen. Okay, well, this is an old hive. There were bees in here years ago. It's not clean, but this is all I got right now. So I'm just gonna roll with it and maybe they'll make their way in here. We'll just have to wait and see. I guess time will tell. So I'm gonna go grab the lemongrass and we'll put it right in here. I also brought our hive butler with us because you can actually use this to catch swarms too, but I didn't know exactly where it was in the trees. I don't think we're gonna be able to use this with this swarm, seeing how it's so high up in the tree. So here's my lemongrass. And I have no idea if I'm doing this right, but we're just gonna drop some down on this hive. Well, I got the hive out there and the essential oil in there, and I just waited. I think it was like 2 hours. And while we were waiting, Sayla was helping my mom cut strawberries to put in their freeze dryer. And I just kind of hanging out, taking the afternoon off. Sorry.
So I was out here slaving away while you were just hanging out, waiting for bees just to miraculously go in.
That's what I was going for.
I wish that would have happened again to you. That would have been nice.
That would have been nice.
So it didn't happen. So
No.
what happened after that?
So the whole reason my brother wasn't there when I showed up is he was at work and couldn't get off work. So he came later on, and he's the real one that's captured swarms before. not me.
Yeah, he's kept bees for a number of years now.
Yeah,
Worked with them.
he sure has. So he said, bring your bee suit and meet me there. And so I had the bee suit, which was Mike's bee suit, which my brother is like 6'3", and the bee suit's a little small.
Yeah, I'm only like 5'7" or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but he actually got into it.
Yeah, I was a little shocked, kind of, because I was like, that'd be like a medium. And my brother's not a medium person.
Maybe it's a large. Maybe it's not a medium. Maybe it's a large.
Sorry, babe. It's a large.
I typically do wear large shirts.
It's a large.
So he got into the suit, and what was one of the first things he did once you guys were?
Well, we brought out the tarps that he had. So the goal was to knock them out of the tree onto the tarps and then put them into the hive.
Okay.
So we spread out all the tarps, me and my sister-in-law and my nephew and my brother. And he got his ladder and put the bee suit, the top half on anyway, and duct taped his pants shut so no bees could go up his pants. And so he brought a pole saw handle, I think is what he said, and up the ladder he went.
Wow. And
hooked it and yanked it, and you see bees go whoosh.
Wow, wow.
So I have a tree saw pole, non-conductive saw pole here, and I'm in a bee suit. And it's not my bee suit, but it's a handy bee suit, because when you go to capture swarms, you have to go then. It is not something you get to fit into your schedule. So if you're going to catch bees for your homestead, expect to go the moment someone calls you. These showed up at our masonry office this afternoon. We're going to see about getting these bees to fall onto this tarp, and then we're going to put them in the hive bubble right now. Okay, can you hold this for me?
I'll hold it.
I do not suggest you stand on a ladder like this to harvest thousands of stinging insects. Now, honeybees, if it's not a starvation swarm, are generally gorged on honey before they swarm, so they actually have a very hard time wanting to sting you. Plus, they don't want to lose any resources by killing themselves to stop you unless it's something they have to do.
So we got the bees down. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and they were like going everywhere, and I didn't have anything on. So I was like, okay, if I get stung, I'm gonna start heading for the hills, but that didn't happen.
But you're a natural with bees, though. You just have this natural connection with them, and
well,
so
my
you're not really afraid
grandfather
of them.
used to raise bees. He always had 3 or 4 hives out behind our house because we lived next door to them, and I would just go sit out in front of the beehives and watch the bees, and there was clover everywhere, and I would let bees crawl on my hand. And so no, I am not afraid. You just have to stay calm. And so just stay calm, don't swat.
There you go. So once the bees were down on the ground, what did he do with them from there?
So he was just taking them and shaking them in one spot, and then he took them over. We had taken the I'd brought along our hive butler, which you can catch swarms in, and we had taken the old frames out of the old hive and put it in the hive butler, and he just shook them off the tarp into the hive butler, and we were hoping we were getting the queen.
So did he get it all just in that one drop, or how did it go?
No, he had to do it like 4 or 5 times.
So wow, was it a pretty big, I guess, swarm there, or hive?
I mean, yeah, in the tree it looked like it was about like this high and that wide, so
wow,
there were a lot of bees up there.
Wow, that is pretty neat. So that was your first time seeing that happen, of trying to catch a swarm like manually?
In person, yes.
Yeah.
And I learned really cool tidbits about the banana smell, and that being the attack pheromone. I didn't know that. My brother shared that with us.
No banana scent yet. If you're ever doing this and you start smelling a banana scent, you are getting ready to get lit up. That's the pheromone, that's the attack pheromone for bees. While I'm doing this, I'm trying to look and see if I happen to see a queen, because she's really the main one we want. Now, if we have the queen in there, you'll see bees come around the top and start fanning to let the other bees in the area know that the queen is there, they need to come there. I haven't seen her yet, so we're just doing the law of averages right now. We're hoping we got her. We're gonna see if we can get some more, because there's another pound of bees up in that tree. We're gonna do a quick look for the queen before we do anything else. That seemed to be where they fell from. I mean, they're a little pissed off at me right now, but they're not really trying to hurt me.
And I'm standing right here with no protection on, and they're not bothering me at all. I've had a couple land on me, but they're not trying to attack me.
Yep, third one on me so far.
So I've never seen someone try to catch a swarm or hive before like that. Is it typical for them to be that high up in the tree? Are they higher? Or are they lower? Or,
no, because he had mentioned later on that he normally would not try and get a swarm that was this high in a tree. But it was somewhere that we knew and we could, you know, just try it and see.
It'd be nice if they were just kind of like eye level and you just reached in and just knocked them right into the hive butler from there. That'd probably be...
I think that's like every beekeeper's dream. I do believe
the ideal situation.
Is the ideal situation. But I have seen on video other people, whenever they're in lower branches, they'll bring, you know, whatever container, hive butler's perfect for this, but hold it, knock it down, and all the bees fall in there, and then you most likely have the queen right in there.
Wow, wow.
You never quite get them all. Sometimes you get a chance to get a hive or get a swarm, and they're like right here, and you can just walk in, put a bucket under them and just shake them one time, and they just go kaboosh, like this big squishy blob of bees. They go right in that bucket, and you can carry them where you want to. Don't put the lid on the bucket if you do it that way, because you will suffocate a tremendous amount of bees. There's a reason that the hive butler has perforated lids, and that's so you can get enough ventilation in there so that these bees survive a trip.
And one of those things, ideal is ideal, but ideal is not usually reality.
No. Exactly. Reality on that day was 20 feet up in the air.
Yeah. So, where's those bees? Where they at? I'm ready to have some more bees here and more honey.
Well, we thought we had the queen, and we were just gonna leave them for a couple days just to let them get adjusted to the hive and all. But sadly, they didn't stay in the hive.
Oh man.
So maybe we didn't have the queen, or they didn't like that home and they need to find another one.
Oh, we'll have to try again, I guess, because we definitely want to add some more bees, because having a good source of honey, like multiple hives, is definitely the way to go. We definitely want to have more than one, so we'll just have to, or you'll have to try again. No, maybe I can join next time. Because one of the things I was doing is just among a number of things is just recently got back from Homesteaders of America conference.
Yeah.
And speaking of bees, I had the opportunity to chat with Kaylee from the Homestead up in Virginia, who is like a master beekeeper.
Yes, and she has some great videos of catching swarms on her YouTube channel, and I've seen her do it.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to chat with her. And I am so amazed at all the work that you do with your bees that you have, and the pictures and the videos that you get. It's pretty amazing.
It's a lot of fun. It's really worth it though.
It makes me feel like a wimp sometimes, as I'm just getting used to having bees, and I'm still a little nervous, but you're in there and it almost looks like you're one with them.
Well, you have to be. You have to be very aware of what you're doing when you're in there, because they're going to teach you a lesson if you don't.
Yeah.
So it's very therapeutic. It might be extremely intense if you think, you know, but if you just calm down and let them kind of show you, they're going to teach you. They'll keep you straight.
That's great. So we're planning, my family's planning to go, because I'm a speaker at the Homesteaders of America conference in Front Royal, Virginia in October, I believe.
Yeah, October.
And we need to come see you, because you're not too far from there,
No,
right?
I'm not far at all. I'll be teaching on keeping bees. So this talk that I'm going to do tomorrow here is going to basically just be getting bees, how to get started, what to do. It's a hardcore, intense like all the years of experience just packed into like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. So hopefully it's gonna go well with people. And then my next talk is going to be in October at the HOA conference in Virginia, and I'll be teaching people winterizing bees and what to kind of the next step, and then also preparing for spring. That next step, there's a lot of people that just don't know, so we're gonna get people started into bees, and then I'm doing a hands-on workshop as well.
I'm one of those people that could really benefit from hearing that. And it's one thing to watch these videos online to learn and watch from some type of talk, but it's another thing to be hands-on with learning. It takes things to a whole nother level.
It does, and what I found is that sometimes by giving people the opportunity to get into the bees, let's face it, beekeeping is not an inexpensive hobby. You know, it can be pretty costly, and the education, the equipment, the bees, you know, and all the knowledge of everything that you're going to continue to learn. But sometimes just having that opportunity to get into a hive, do a hive inspection with somebody, walk them through identification and that critical thinking of being a beekeeper, that is what I like. That's what we're teaching, and that's kind of how we're going to basically plant that seed for the next beekeeper to, you know, to continue and to grow from there.
Fantastic. Are you having a great time here?
I am.
I
I'm
am
excited.
too.
I'm looking at this garden and I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
So we're like a couple of weeks behind, you know, in growing season. So this is giving me inspiration that my broccoli is going to look like this, and my potatoes do look pretty good, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
So.
It's really neat being here. You guys are missing out next time. So, even though you weren't able to bring those bees back and came back empty-handed, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Did you get something out of it, the experience?
Yeah, I got a lot of good information. I'm very much a hands-on learner. I'm like, let's just try it and do it and see what happens. So I really enjoyed helping my brother do everything that he needed to do. And, you know, he taught me a lot of stuff about the banana smell being the attack pheromone for bees. And also he showed me what to look for whenever you see a swarm and you see the abdomen being so much larger. That means they've already eaten a lot of their honey and they're looking for another place to live. So a lot of stuff like that I didn't know that, you know, now I can take forward and use the next time.
Yeah, and you've gotten to use the Hive Butler again, which is a tool that we've had the opportunity to use a couple times now. So it's been pretty neat to use that tool. And also, speaking of hands-on learning, one of the things, the list of busy things that I've had going on is the Homesteaders of America conference. Josiah and I went to that, and we had the opportunity to meet up with Kaylee from the Honeystead, who's like the master bee lady, and had the opportunity to chat with her.
And some of the videos that I've seen of catching swarms is on her YouTube channel. It's really cool. I suggest you just look at some of her swarm videos.
Yep. So we look forward to meeting up with her. We're planning to visit her around the next Homesteaders of America conference in Virginia and have the opportunity to actually see her at her place doing her magic and work with the bees. So looking forward to seeing that. So even though we came back empty-handed, or Lacie did with the bees, we did get to share this experience with you guys, and hopefully you learned something. Well, that's it for now. We're gonna buzz on. We'll see you later.
Dad jokes.
Buzz off.
Got the dad jokes. Bye, guys.